Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to our Battlecry to Ironman campaign. Let's just check the volume, things are looking fine. Let's take a quick look at our stats. And let's immediately go back to the main menu because this episode we're not going to be going into the campaign map. We are in fact going to be doing another skirmish, and I guess we could have seen the stats here as well. But yeah, we are not going to be doing a campaign, and for those of you who've been watching this series and who've been following the ups and downs of our, our struggles in the campaign map, in our quest to conquer all of Etheria. Those of you who have been following the developments over the course of the campaign probably know why I'm back here in the scenario screen, the skirmish screen rather, and that's because I need to be here to get my Archon back. And for those of you who perhaps haven't been keeping up with every single episode, I'll refresh your memory. It was actually a couple episodes ago that this happened, where I lost 2 of my retinue units, partially due to my own negligence. I saved in the middle of a fight with a hero who was attacking very quickly. He had a very high speed. I shouldn't have done that, but also the game was acting funny, and I'm like, even after looking back through the footage, like, I was sure I'd spot something that I missed in real time, but no. What I suspected was happening did seem to be happening even on reviewing the footage, is that I am pretty sure the game was like, I'm struggling to find the words because it's such a weird thing. I don't even know how to put it, but I think what was happening was, while the game should have been paused, somehow something was causing the game to cause time to elapse anyway, and that meant that my Archon got killed, and while I thought I had saved, giving him enough time to flee if I thought he was in danger, in fact, the game, even though no time should have elapsed after I saved it, somehow caused him to... I don't even know how to put it, but let's just suffice it to say that our Archon died under mysterious circumstances, and a Minotaur King as well, but obviously I'm more upset about the Archon because Minotaur King I can just get from playing as the Minotaur faction in the campaign map, and they're very easy to level up because they can just go around destroying everything. Archons are number one harder to get. You can only get them from the Celestial Temple, or I think as a reward for doing a shrine quest, or I think those are the only 2 options that I know of. I think in Battlecry 3 you can recruit them as regular units, maybe if you play as the Knight faction, but I'm not 100% on that. But yes, that's going to be the main goal of this episode, to get our Archon back, and I've decided we're not going to get just one Archon, we are going to get 2 of them. And similar to last time, we are going to play against... I'm going to play against high elf opponents because they can't be assassins, and that's my main like the main thing that could cause us any threat, but mainly this battle isn't going to be about our opponent. Our opponent is only going to exist for the purpose of allowing us to be on the map, because we can't play a game against no opponent, right? Because the game, like, let's say I can start the game now, but if I closed this, then I can't go into the map, right? So I need some sort of an opponent. I'm gonna give them very low resources and the worst possible AI, just to make things easier for myself. I'm also going to have no fog of war and a completely visible map. Everything else is going to be the same. Quests are going to be on. Is there anything else that I want to... I could play with a temporary hero, but I don't want to mess with that. Not... Maybe after the campaign is over, I'll try this. I just don't want to... Because I'm playing under Ironman rules, I don't want to risk something that messes up my hero. But yeah, playing in this map, the Blasted Delta, I had forgotten what the name of the scenario was, but I remembered it had a very distinct geography. So as soon as I saw this map, I knew this is the one, and the Celestial Temple should be roughly around there when we start. And we are just going to start. And I know we've already had one we've had one episode like this already. Hang on, I need to... Ooh, what am I doing? I minimized it because I hit the Windows key, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's save the game just in case. Just in case something goes wrong. But what I was trying to do was I was trying to hit the function plus escape key, which would put me in hotkey mode, and then that would allow me to pause and resume the game quicker. So what I was going to say was, where in the map have we started? In this corner. Where is our opponent? All the way up there. And they start with a few retinue units. They themselves are... I'm trying to select the hero. Are a level 23 fighter. So they're actually a pretty tough enemy. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Because, again, this isn't about them, this is just about us getting the Archon back. So what I was going to say was, I keep getting distracted, is that we've already had one episode where I've done this, and it was a short episode where all I did was, I had a bit of fun, yes, but mainly I just got the Archon, killed a few things, leveled him up a bit, and then ended the map. Celestial Temple right there. Makes life easy for us. This time, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. I'm going to, rather than just do a redundant duplicate of the earlier episode, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to show you how you can farm experience. I've already kind of alluded to it before, but in this one, I'll show you my strategy for farming up experience for your retinue units in a completely 100% safe way. And first step, of course, is going to be getting a couple units. I'm actually going to get 3 of them, and they are pretty expensive. What resource is holding us back? Basically, we need more of everything, but we're gonna need a lot of gold and crystal. So let's convert all the mines. Let's actually go here, because this is This would have been the starting location of one of the other players. So this has a bunch of level 3 mines. We'll just go ahead and grab all of them. In the meantime, we can start getting a second one. I'm actually going to be training 3 Archons, but only leveling 2 of them. You may ask, then why am I going to be getting 3? Well, there's a reason for that, but it won't be apparent until the very end of this video. It's going to be part of my explanation for why you would want to do this in the first place, and why not just level up your units naturally over the course of a campaign or scenarios or whatever it is you're doing. So let's just start putting units in some of the relevant mines, and let's keep an eye on what our opponent is doing. As you can see, this low-level AI is really not very energetic at all. They've converted these mines, they've built some things, they've actually built 2 keeps, which is a bit of a surprise. They're being more active than I would have expected, but that's probably just because we started with 20 setup points. That meant so did they, and then they got this extra wisp, which helped them build some stuff. But really, they aren't gonna be much of a threat. So what I'm gonna be doing with my Archon is or my second Archon. Well, there's no reason to wait on this. Let's go ahead and do it now, because we're gonna not just need to get our Archons, but we are going to have to level them up as well. And already gained 1 level. I could have saved or had them start with a bit of extra XP if I built an arena and then researched this thing, but that's only 10 extra XP, right? That's not much. I've already lost the Archon. Where did I send him? I had him destroy this mine, and then... Oh my god. Where is he? There he is. He's destroying this mine. So, my strategy... And this is a long, very not laborious, but time-intensive way to do this. But it's also kind of zen, like you can do it and kind of relax and zone out while you're doing it without feeling like you're under threat. What we're gonna do is we are just gonna go around destroying these neutral buildings. You can even attack your own buildings and you will get experience for it. But we are going to be doing it by attacking neutral buildings. And sure, we can start leveling up the other Archon as well. And for each neutral building we destroy, we get 3 experience. Now you might be wondering, hey, yeah, there are a lot of these buildings on the map, but what happens when you've destroyed all of them? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's a good question. And the good news is that neutral buildings like mines and these temples, in fact, you can kind of already see it with the temple because it looks like it's got construction material around, and that implies it'll get rebuilt, and indeed, eventually that temple will come back. But so, in fact, will mines.
Research complete.
Like, you destroy them, and after a while, they'll come back, and in fact... Okay, so this is the first mine we destroyed, and eventually it will re-establish itself, and that is going to be That is going to be how we cheese our way.
Your buildings are under attack.
Which, who, oh. I'm gonna rally that Archon over there. We don't even need this temple anymore, to be perfectly frank, but we might as well destroy this enemy.
Your buildings are under attack.
Alright, let's carry on breaking things. Alright, we got some more experience there. We need to kind of keep an eye on them, although it looks like their hero is either being really lazy or maybe is glitched and isn't doing anything after having converted these 4 mines. She's like, yep, well, my job's done, I'm gonna take the rest of the day off. And honestly, that is fine with me. That is fine with me. As I said before, the story of this map is about us and our quest to get our Archons. And you know what? It's gonna get really, really annoying having these 2 guys in 2 separate places. So I'm actually gonna have them link up. And yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We are going to be in this map. Well, to be more accurate, I am going to be in this map for a long, long time, because I want to fully level up both of these Archons. That's gonna mean a total of 640 experience, which is gonna be well, let's round it down to 600, because they started with almost 20 experience each. So really we need 602, so let's round it down to 600. 3 experience per building destroyed means we need to destroy 200 buildings. And already the mines we destroyed are coming back. This one's back up. And these ones are back up. So this is basically what we're gonna do. We are gonna fly around the map, and basically what it'll be like is we will be destroying buildings in a kind of a loop like this. And let's say that this is the start of the loop. By the time we get back to this point in the loop, having destroyed everything else, this thing will have already rebuilt itself, and that'll mean it'll be ready to destroy. In fact, by the time we're around like here or here, like way before we get all the way back to this,
You have too many men.
it'll have a... Oh my god, okay, I need to stop doing this, because we need to figure out what to do with all of these guys. Let's just get some random research done. Let's build an ironworks, even though we don't need it. And let's start putting these guys in some mines. Like, normally, I would be putting all of my guys in crystal mines and in quarries, because normally, in a campaign battle situation, I'm racing against the clock, trying to get my base set up, trying to get far-seeing, trying to get started on... You know, I'm even gonna let this guy destroy this thing, because once he destroys it... In fact, I'm actually gonna help him out. I'm going to have this guy destroy this structure himself, because you do get experience. As you saw, our Archon landed the final blow on that building, and what that showed is that you do get experience for destroying your own buildings, which I find hilarious. So we are going to be flying around and just doing this for a long time, and of course I'm not gonna be so cruel and petty as to subject you to this entire ordeal. No, I will be skipping ahead pretty soon, and I'll show you the finished product. You know, I've used this analogy before in my Might and Magic 7 series, but it'll be kind of like those cooking shows where the chef tells you, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then it's a recipe that takes an hour and a half in real time, but on the show they just skip ahead to the fully prepared dish.
New buildings are available.
That is what we're gonna be doing here. That is, we're gonna be skipping ahead once I'm sure that I have nothing else that I need to talk about at the outset. And I don't think I'm missing anything. Let's take another look at their base. Oh, they've built another Tree of Life. They're really expanding quickly, aren't they? By the way, that was my sarcastic voice. I don't know if you could tell, but I don't actually think they're expanding very quickly. I just, you know, just in case it didn't come through, I wanted to make it clear. But yes, I think at this point we're done with all the stuff I wanted to say initially. I'll have more stuff to say later when we come back, and there's really no more point beating about the bush. So now I'm going to temporarily say goodbye to you, and I will meet you shortly once I am at the end of this long but very necessary process. So alright guys, I will see you in a bit. But I'm resuming things because it occurs to me that there's one important thing I haven't mentioned yet. And you might be wondering, hey, isn't it gonna be tedious for you to click on these things manually, one by one, and then find the next one, and then click on it? And yes, there is a lot of tedious manual clicking, but you can save yourself a bit of trouble by using...
New armies are available.
I don't know what the exact term is, but you can give your troops a sequence of orders that they will do one after the other. So if I hold shift and order them to do this, they will go to each of those locations. I guess I had those points too close to each other to fully demonstrate it, so let's do it like... So now they should fly in a very easy to see triangle pattern. First they went there, oh, where are we going? Then they went down, and then they went there. Now how you can use this is you can also combine this with attack orders. So I can tell my Archons, hey,
Research
attack
complete.
this, then attack that, then
New buildings are available.
you know what? I'm actually going to try and use my Archons to take down their hero. Couple reasons, like she is a fighter, it's might be ill-advised, but if I do manage to kill her, it'll be a nice chunk of experience as well. So what I'll do is I took down that unit in one hit. Now I want to... Well, first of all, I want to save while there's some clear distance between me and the hero. Learning my lesson from the unfortunate incident in which we lost our last Archon, and now I want to... Okay, maybe Archons aren't going to be the best way to do this. Maybe we should wait for her to go into her conversion animation. That'll give us a few free hits. Alright, let's... I may just give up on this and eventually take her down with Minotaur Kings. But I figured I should at least try. You know what, yeah, I'm gonna give up on trying to fight the hero for now. What I was gonna do, what I was trying to demonstrate, is that you can give your Archons a series of offensive orders as well. And I'm gonna order them to attack mines in this sort of a pattern, and we'll just see them in action for a while. I'm no longer clicking on them, now I'm just watching them do the orders that I've given them. And this is a bit of a more efficient way of doing it. I guess I forgot to include this mine in that list of orders. Well, it's too late now. It doesn't really matter because all the mines are going to come back anyway, but of course, the more of them that we take down, the better. And we may as well also take down this unicorn while we have it. Oh, and I guess I'd given other orders, but I interrupted that Archon before he could successfully complete them. Alright, yeah, I ordered them to take down this stuff. See, I think that's gonna be it for what I want to teach you about how to carry out this kind of an experience farming thing. I'll skip ahead again. I may be back if I decide to take another crack at the enemy hero with these Archons, but chances are it'll go just as badly as it did the first time. Ooh, you know what? Let's take one more shot at the hero and let's see how we do. She's a fighter. She's got some ground units, ground melee units who can't attack aerial units. So let's see if we can do something. So, even with a critical hit, we did very little damage. Although we got her down quite high. Let's try again. This time we... Oh, she's healing herself, is she? Is that what's happening? Okay, that didn't really work, and I don't like the damage that we took. So, yeah, I am not going to be fighting her with my Archons. So just pretend... pretend I never even tried. Okay, so now, for real, I'm gonna be skipping ahead to either when this is done or when we are for real going after that hero. Probably with our Minotaur Kings. But yeah, I'll see you guys shortly. Alright. Back in real time for a bit because I just really want to take care of their hero. I don't want a situation where she kills one of my Archons because it happened to be flying by near her on the map. So what I've done is I've brought out my strong Minotaur King and my hero. Yeah, see, now it's getting exciting. And we're just gonna take her down. Might take a couple of attempts. What are you attacking?
See how weak form.
Excuse me? That was weird. Wasn't she...
An enemy hero is
She was not next to our hero, but somehow the game decided that she was in melee range. Was it because of some spell she had cast that was displacing her position?
research complete.
Either way, she's finally been taken care of. Sadly, our Archons didn't get any of that experience, and our hero took a lot of damage, because even though she's not an assassin, are you actually serious right now?
You are victorious.
Are you kidding me right now? Well, we got our Archons, but we didn't get anything else. Oh man. This is not what I had in mind. And I had, oh god, I'm gonna have to go back. So we've got our 2 Archons. You know what? We're gonna go straight back in. We're gonna go straight back in. Go to the skirmish. Another battle. This was the Blasted Delta. Again, we're gonna be ourselves. We'll be the Minotaurs. We're gonna give ourselves higher resources. We'll be against again, a high elf enemy. Low resources. We're gonna give ourselves I guess 18 is gonna be enough. Exposed map, no fog of war. I guess the lesson here is that when you're playing against the lowest tier of enemy, they will just resign if you kill their hero, even if there was nothing stopping them from continuing. Like, they had both of their keeps, they had all of their mines. They could have gone on, but they didn't. So this time, we are going to not kill their hero, I guess. Okay, let's do this again. Because there is one thing. We've got a lot of extra points. We'll get you and you, that's fine. Because there was one thing I had yet to demonstrate. Alright, now this time I'm going to be skipping straight to when my Archons are leveled up. Because there is one thing, one last point I wanted to make. Alright, so this time, hopefully the enemy doesn't just randomly resign for no reason. But this time, when we come back, I will have 2 fully leveled Archons and also some few closing comments to make about this whole exercise. Right, so I will see you guys in a bit. All right, I am finally done. I've been recording for an hour and 26 minutes, so kind of a long exercise, but not that long if you think about it. If you think about what you're getting out of it in the end. And here is what we've gotten. We've gotten 2 fully leveled Archons, but I also, while they were on their loop, using the time to level up this Minotaur King. Now, I'm not actually going to take this Minotaur King into my retinue, but I trained him up all the way to level 8, the maximum level, just because I want to demonstrate something. And I mentioned earlier that at the end of this process, once I had my high level units, I would talk to you about why you would want to do something like this. why you would want to level up your guys immediately all the way in a safe way rather than slowly level them up. It's because, as you've seen occasionally in the campaign, I have used a strategy of trying to eliminate the heroes early on very quickly by taking strong retinue units, going straight to their starting locations, destroying their base, waiting for their hero to come back, and then killing their hero and eliminating them before they can even get their plans off the ground. And in order to do that, especially as you start leveling up, you will need very strong units. And to that end, let me show you the difference between a low-level Archon and a high-level Archon. See, now this Archon has already gained a couple levels. He started with 18 experience, but then he killed a couple units here and there. So now he's level 3. Let's look at his stats. 19 combat, 210 health, 16 speed, 43 damage. Now let's look at this max level Archon. He has 80 more health, 3 more combat. That's nice, not really that relevant, but more importantly, a whopping 4 more speed. 4 more speed. And that, and also significantly more damage as well, 53 instead of 43. Now that speed is what's going to be crucial. That speed is what allows these units to zip across the map, you know, go from one end to the other in no time, and that speed is what you will need when you're fighting against heroes to chase them down if they're fleeing, or if you yourself need to flee, what'll help you get away rather than be slowly tracked down and killed by whatever's pursuing you. And also, I have this high-level Minotaur King. I should also have a low-level Minotaur King somewhere here. Let's bring him, if there's even space for him to walk, and show you the difference between these stats. Again, similarly, he's got more health, he's got a bit more combat. I think all units get the same additions to their stats, but importantly, as... Ooh, he actually... Ooh, hang on. So from level 3 to level 8, Archons gain 4 more speed. From level 3 to level 8, Minotaur Kings gain 5 more speed. So I guess these bonuses aren't identical. Some units gain a little bit more in certain stats, it would seem. But yes, so for Minotaur Kings, because they're gaining this much extra speed, it's even more crucial to have them leveled up. And if your strategy is gonna be hunting down the heroes early on, there are things that you simply will not be able to do with a Minotaur King that's this slow. Of course, they seem fast because I've already researched Wind of Sartek, and I've got a high morale, and they're all in my hero's command radius. But without that, this difference in speed would be even more pronounced. And so that is why, even if your goal is to do the campaign, you may want to consider going into a scenario to train up your high-level units, just so you have the option of using them in the way that I've occasionally used them in the fight. And one last comment before we kill this hero and end this battle. I've even built the Skull of Sartek just because I had nothing better to do. Oh, before I get to my last comment, I'll mention one thing you can do for a quick experience. So I mentioned, you know, you can do this loop around the whole map, destroying mines, but if you really need a bit of experience quickly, I mentioned you can destroy your own buildings. One thing you can do and this will get you experiences. You can build buildings and destroy them yourself. So for instance, I can build a pen, and because it's a normal building, when my Minotaur King destroys it, you'll get 3 extra experience. If I really need experience very quickly, I can build towers, because destroying towers will give me 4 experience. The thing with towers is they are very expensive. You will run out of your resources very quickly doing that. So even though it's a little bit slower, you're better off if you're using this tactic. If you've got the resources to spare to build something like, I don't know, a pen or ironworks. I think a pen is the lowest total resource, although maybe ironworks, because it'll be your lowest resource that's the bottleneck, and this means like the highest cost it imposes is the lowest, which will put less pressure on your income with the weakest, on your resource with the weakest income. I don't know if I explained that properly, but I don't think there's any easier way to explain it. It's basically just a bit of math. You know, you want to be building the thing which, out of the highest resource cost it has for any resource, the lowest highest cost that you see. Assuming that you're gaining all of your resources at the same rate, which won't necessarily be true, but often will be true. So yes, that was, I think, it for the tips and tricks I'm sharing for this, I guess, impromptu tutorial on XP farming. And now to the last comment that I was going to make, and this is more directed to someone who might be a bit of a purist. Someone who might take issue with the fact that I'm going into skirmishes at all, given that this series is all about ostensibly doing the campaign. Now, I have 2 rebuttals to that. The first one is that even though we're not on the campaign map right now, we are doing things that are going to help us in the campaign. So instrumentally it's useful. And the other point is more a counter to someone saying that, like someone who maybe has a more purist philosophy and who would suggest that maybe the integrity of this whole series is called into question because I haven't spent the entirety of it in the campaign. And my response to that is the fact that this game, by design, this isn't some obscure glitch that I'm exploiting. Like, the intention of this game from the very start, from the very first game of the series, was that you would be able to do both the campaign or skirmishes with your hero. Although I believe in the initial Warlords Battlecry 1, I believe you would have had to finish the campaign first with your hero, and then you'd be able to use them in skirmishes, but for Battlecry 2 and Battlecry 3, you can jump back and forth to your heart's content. So this is fully within the spirit of the game. And in fact, I was always planning on doing some skirmishes with this hero after the campaign anyway, but those would have been serious skirmishes where I'm actually fighting enemies properly, you know, in more tense battles than this. This one is just to get this one specific thing done. And yeah, I think that's about it for what I wanted to say. Now the only thing left to do is to end this, just to end things, because this enemy, we've been yanking their chain long enough. It's time to put them out of their misery. And as you can see, this weakest AI, I guess that's what qualifies for a quote-unquote attack, that one cavalry unit and 3 or 4 ancient wisps that they were sending. So they essentially, you can basically treat them as if they're not there. The only thing you've got to be mindful of is that their hero is leveled similarly to your hero, and if they run across you on the map, or if they run across one of your units that you're trying to level up, they could kill that unit if you're not careful. Now it's time to just end things. And yes, is it overkill having our hero, 2 fully leveled Archons, 1 fully leveled Minotaur King, and the Skull of Sartek? Yes, but you know what? Sometimes overkill is just fun. So let's enjoy this. Okay, we need to take her down. Sadly, we weren't able to finish her off, and she seems to be very fast. She slowed down a bit to heal herself, but her speed is very, very high. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to wait until she's probably gonna heal herself up to full health. We're probably gonna have to wait until she gets back to her starting location, because probably the AI has given her the order to try and build another keep. I think briefly she turned around to attack, but then changed her mind. I don't know what she's doing now. I don't know where she's going. Is she? Oh, maybe something messed up her pathfinding? Or no, she's definitely not even trying to go to... Oh my god, okay, this is gonna be... This is gonna be a... I mean, I could just resign. There's no need... Oh, that's smart of her. She split up my forces by going this roundabout route, which caused my flying units to go by a different path, and my ground units took a different path. So it almost seemed like she was being intelligent, but I'm pretty sure that was just the result of her pathfinding bugging out a little bit. So let's, as I said, put her out of her misery. One of our Archons is a little bit injured. So let's be mindful of that. In fact, let's make him go to the back a little bit. Okay, this is getting a little bit okay, let's wait for her to stop and build something. Man, like, is this gonna be the hardest part of this entire episode? Killing this hero. Where is she going? I'm genuinely at a loss. I don't know what to say. She must have picked a new location to build a new keep. So let's wait for her to stop. I'm actually a little bit bemused at what I'm seeing here. So what we'll do is we'll gather our guys here, then we'll surround this, and then we'll attack her, and then hopefully we'll be able to take her down. All right, let's do this properly. All right. Didn't think I would have to use such complicated tactics against this enemy, but the problem is how fast she is. So I did save. Yes, I did save. So let's see if we can maybe land some lucky critical hits and take her down. Really is unfortunate that she's this fast. But that's what can happen when you have really high level heroes, is that... oh, no, where even is she? There she is.
An enemy hero. has
There
been
we
destroyed.
go. Is that sometimes their stats can be a little bit crazy. Combat, majory command, combat, casting, and more speed. I prefer that one. Okay. So, why have they not resigned? Do they have... okay. I guess they must have had some unit somewhere on the map which caused them to delay their resignation, but yes. We've won for whatever that's worth, although I do think we're about to level up.
You are victorious.
Do think that's a thing. Yes, we did gain a level. So that's a nice note to end this episode on. So what do I want to do? I want to carry on with my, I guess, pattern of putting 1 point into one of our core statistics, which will raise a bunch of our skills, and then putting the remaining points directly into skills. And I think what I'm going to start doing now is I'm just going to start raising whichever skills I've put the least points into, which you can gauge by how expensive it is to train them up. Although I also do like spending all of my points. So what I'll do is I'll put another point into speed. Because speed is always nice. We've spent all our points, that's great. And we can take this beefy Minotaur King into our retinue. And you know what? We'll... since I went to all the trouble of leveling him up, we'll take him in place of... I forget which of these guys. I think this guy was... this guy was... you know what? I'll do this. I'll take him in place of this one. Okay. Now, when we close that screen, it'll just put us here at the starting screen of the game, which probably is not the most satisfying screen to end this episode on. So let's end it on like the hero selection screen. I'm not actually going to go into the campaign because that'll potentially trigger events, and we are done with this episode. We are done. So yes, hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you maybe learned a few tips and tricks. One thing I will say is that it's like as I mentioned, it's actually a kind of relaxing, very zen experience. You know, just you can have music on, you can do other stuff. All you have to do is check occasionally to make sure your units aren't getting killed, but as long as you know roughly where the enemy hero is, that shouldn't be an issue. So it's long, it'll take you about an hour, hour and a half, depending on how many units you're leveling up. But at the end of it, you'll have something very valuable that will persist, and which you can use in the campaign, assuming you can keep it alive, which, of course, for me, as we've learned in this campaign, is no guarantee. But yeah, that's gonna be all. Hope you had a good time. Thank you for watching, and when we come back, we are going to resume our campaign, and hopefully our leveled up units do some good work for us then. So, I hope to see you then, and until then, take care.